Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. I'm going to be doing this one first today instead of Homestuck due to the fact that I didn't put out one yesterday. I was literally in the process of getting ready to record it, but something came up that made me incapable of doing so. So in the last episode, we read, we got a good thing here, which was interesting. So this one we're going to start with Are We There Yet, and I'm hoping I can also do I Thought You Died Alone. It depends on how long Are We There Yet is. I should be able to do both. I'm not sure if this is an actual song, but it looks like it's the Southern dude. All I'm saying is we've listened to this for 2 hours straight. Dietrich rolled his eyes for the third time. Yeah? And I had to sit through your playlist across 2 state lines, Bridge. It's my turn. Yeah, but the pumpkins have a little variety. Bridge fumbled with the tuning knob. Dietrich quickly slapped his hand. The hand was retracted, followed by a scoff. Rude! Seriously, Bridge, if and you don't like muddy waters, you can get the hell out. I'm sick of your belly aching. Don't make me pull rank, deep bitch. Cute, pull rank all you like. I ain't changing the channel. Guys, I've been listening to you two piss and moan over the radio ever since Kansas. I'm turning it off now. Alexandra then... AIAD home screen. Alexandra then cut off XM radio privileges. Alex, that's not in the least bit fair. Dietrich fumbled with his phone in the cup holder. Alex, turn it back on. Alex! Bridge folded his arms, closed his eyes, and slouched in his seat further. Silent treatment. Dietrich tossed his phone over the shoulder into the back seat. From the rearview mirror, he could see Merle enjoying the breeze from the open window. Their eyes met, and he signed Dietrich a response. You play too much fucking blues music anyway. Dietrich batted the rearview mirror into a cockeyed position so he didn't have to look at him. But Merle remained visible in the reflection of the dash. Whatever. Not even halfway there and I'm already fixing to drive this car to the nearest river and drown all 3 of you. His mother's words coming out of his mouth. 3? Yourself included? Bridge snorted. He only grumbled more under his breath. Hey, how come we didn't just fly to Site 17? Flying means having to put in requests, means your name is on the manifest, means paperwork. I was hired to avoid paperwork as much as possible. Half of spying is keeping low to the ground, Bridge. Bridge looked out the window. I guess that's true. I'm probably just antsy, but it would have been a lot nicer to get a 2-hour flight, just to get a 2-hour flight over with. Up ahead, just shut the hell... Dietrich glanced at Merle's reflection, then jerked his head back up to see a police checkpoint up ahead. Orange cones and squad cars funneled traffic on the road as they let other cars through slowly. Each one was being examined. He gently stopped behind the line of cars. Not police. What's wrong, Dietrich? Looking for him. That ain't no everyday police checkpoint. What? Dietrich cut the steering wheel hard to make a turn to cut across the other side of the highway. Alexandra chipped in over the speakers. He's right, sir. Local dispatch has them responding to a fire. Duck! 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 Dietrich pulled on Bridge's car just as the passenger side window glass shattered. The bullet raced by and put a hole into his empty headrest. For sure, someone was shooting at them from behind the trees. Dietrich floored the gas pedal almost through the car itself as they sped away in the opposite direction. You see the shooter, Bridge? Is it the same lady? It came from the woods, I don't fucking know. Hope you like bullets. Automatic gunfire chased them down the lane as bullets ricocheted off the lightly armored roof and trunk. Fortunately for them, nothing standard issue armoring on Foundation motor pool vehicles couldn't handle. Dietrich looked at his driver's side mirror just time to see a 45 ACP round whiz through it. Shit. Told you. Bridge muffled a response while keeping his head between his knees. This wouldn't happen if we were on a plane! Bridge! Merle! Shut the fuck up! Who the fuck is Myrtle? Guys, take the exit here into town. Get off the highway. We can lose them in more populated areas. Scream! Yeah, it's a scream sound. Looks like it happens again, though. The SUV squealed and nearly tipped as it made a 40-mile-per-hour drift onto the main road into town. Alexander was nice enough to work ahead of him, switching the next 4 intersections to green simultaneously. Green, 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 and green. All clear. Outstanding, Alex! Now find us another way out! Bridge fumbled with an outdated road map in the glove box as Dietrich kept his eyes on the buildings for more policemen. Recalculating. Alex! Sorry, Sarah, take this next route. It's up on the... left. I saw it. We need to ditch this car, though. Dietrich gripped on the wheel harder as he sped down the empty asphalt lane. Three more miles and there's an old rail yard. We can park in there. Fucking A. Alex, call for a pickup too. Make it a level 4 priority. Bridge folded the map back up and shoved it back into the glove box. Okie dokie. I'm online with Site 17 Dispatch. We're in rain for a chopper evac. Redirecting them now. Alexander tripped over the car speakers with a comforting and positive tone. Rank has its perks. Dietrich didn't respond. He slowed down and eventually pulled into the rail yard. It was a museum of rust and bird droppings mostly. He set the parking brake and sat silent. Alex, what's the ETA on that pickup? 22 minutes, sir. Don't call me, sir. He shook his head, glancing over at Dietrich with a cold glance. Just enough time to interrogate someone. Now, want to tell me what the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but your tone is going to get you cold-cocked. Uh-huh. You knew those weren't cops, and you look over your shoulder every other minute like you're being followed, and you talk to yourself all the damn time. And who the shit is Merle? Trouble. Dietrich started to sweat and chuckled nervously. I do none of them things. Yeah, you kinda do, sir. Dietrich shut off his phone. So what? You're thinking I had something to do with us getting shot at? I just saved your life, asshole. Bridge backed up a bit, then glanced at his donut of a headrest. Look, I know something's up with you, Dietrich. Kill him. Dietrich's eyes darted between Merle and Bridge. Bridge glanced in Merle's general direction, then back at Dietrich. He will report us. Kill him before they arrive. Stop. Dietrich stepped out of the car. Stop what? Tell me what's going on, Dietrich. No. It was MTF MU-13 all over again. Merle surrounded him on all sides no matter where he turned. He was there in the rail yard with them. Even when he closed his eyes, Merle stared at him in the dark. Dietrich, take a breath and calm down. He will put you in a cell. Stop it, Merle. Just like your brother. Fucking stop! Dietrich fell to his knees and flopped forward, dropping his phone and car keys. That time, Bridge really had tasered him. Bridge let off a short burst of voltage and approached. Told you. Now that I have your attention, who is this Merle? Do not say it. Dietrich caught his breath back and picked his face up off the dusty ground. Bridge, I can't. They locked me up for good. I can keep it together. I can, honest. Bridge took a seat on a pile of railroad ties. Maybe you think you don't need a psych eval for whatever your condition is? Maybe you think that gives you some kind of advantage out here? I ain't crazy, Bridge. I don't care. I skimmed your file before we left. 6 transfers in 12 months. I don't know what you're hiding, but you're abusing Foundation bureaucracy to keep low. Dietrich shook his head, but it was apparent that Bridge hit the nail on the head. You keep together while we do this. I'll put in another transfer for you to anywhere you want with full endorsement. You or Mr. Hyde cross me, I'll hand you over to Internal Affairs and they can deal with you. Or I'll crush you myself. Savvy? He will break this deal. Yeah. What guarantee I have? Bridge picked up Dietrich's mobile phone. You don't. Nobody ever does around here, but I could have shot you with an actual gun. Dietrich chuckled and took his phone back. It was a sincere and awkward kind of laugh. Alright, deal. They both shook hands in the rail yard while Merle adamantly shook his head against it. This will not end well. Shut up, Merle. Bridge smiled, looking in the wrong direction from Merle. Yeah, shut up. In the distance, the helicopters could be heard closing in. It wasn't but a few minutes before a red and blue news helicopter landed in the rail yard with the words Sasakwa County Press decaled on the side. Dietrich and Bridge backed up as the dust cloud enveloped them. A Slavic-looking gentleman with tousled brown hair and a very expensive-looking hunter green suit hopped out and hustled over to Dietrich and Bridge. Agent Lurk and Dr. Bridge. That's us! Show me your ID! The man gave him a perturbed look, then fumbled for his Foundation badge and tossed it to him. Dietrich nodded in satisfaction. Alexander Fox, Agent, no offense, assassins are trying to put us in the dirt. Fox nodded and motioned for them to get into the helicopter. All three hustled inside, but not before Fox pulled the pin on an incendiary grenade and tossed it into the open SUV. Leave the car, we're taking off. The car erupted into black smoke and flames as the helicopter rose up over the hills in the direction of their final destination. When we land, rooms will be set up for you. You will be debriefed in the morning. Clear? Both nodded. Dietrich leaned back in the seat next to Merle. We made it. Okay then, that was interesting. And it was not super duper long, so we can read I Thought You Died Alone. Well, we can try. Okay, so apparently this person has a whole separate story. Hi, Santosh. I haven't seen you in a while. I was wondering what you're up to. Interested in seeing a movie on Friday? Best, Arvind. I'm busy that day, Santosh. Except from Bow Commission Probabilistic Risk Assessment of Project Able. Authored by Dr. Laura Erlitza, Dr. Janet Burns, Dr. Kane Crow, Dr. Arvind Desai, Dr. Reginald Topher, Alpha 1 Alpha Romeo, Mobile Task Force Leader. Although SCP-76-2's violent, capricious, and sociopathic nature presents a severe risk to Omega-7 personnel, we consider it unlikely that Omega-7 will experience this kind of internal conflict, assuming that the task force completes at least one mission per week. Further safeguards are discussed in Section 7A. SCP-105, although still in adolescence, is clearly willing to work with the Foundations to contain anomalies. Its ability to influence events from long range would strongly benefit the applications such as espionage, reconnaissance, and direct conflict with anomalies. Given the current state of affairs, this probabilistic risk assessment has deemed the usage of anomalous objects within Mobile Task Force Omega-7 Pandora's Box to fall within acceptable operating parameters. Omega-7 is cleared to operate from a risk assessment standpoint. Postscript. Congratulations to all members of Pandora's Box. You are the first of a new breed of defenders. The world has changed a great deal since the inception of the Foundation, where once we contained, now we must exploit. Anomalies are becoming more dangerous, more widespread, and more common. Once, we were static, reacting to threats. With the formation of Mobile Task Force Omega-7, we are proactive. Not only will the Foundation contain anomalies, but we will contain them before they can become anomalies. We wish the best of luck to all members of Pandora's Box. Containment Fatality. On May 27th something, all personnel at Containment Area of 25 were killed when the nuclear warhead countermeasure was activated in order to contain a severe containment breach caused by SCP-76-2. At the time, 76 was a part of Mobile Task Force Omega-7, but had not been assigned to a mission in at least blank months. To help alleviate increasingly destructive capabilities, 76 was introduced to SCP-Blank to see if its psychic capabilities could be used to calm him, or it. However, upon contact with 76, SCP-Blank caused the immediate disintegration of 76's explosive collar, enabling it to rampage through the site, killing numerous personnel as well as releasing SCP-Blank from containment. Proper containment measures could not be established as most of the surviving personnel had been recently transferred and were still unfamiliar with Area 25's evacuation protocols. Keter Containment Specialist Santosh Desai activated the nuclear warhead countermeasure before dying to SCP-Blank's kinetohazardous effect. All personnel on site were killed, but 76 and SCP-Blank were contained successfully. Desai was awarded a posthumous Foundation Star for his act of bravery. Best practices? Take it upon yourself to always be up to date on site and safety area protocols. Hi Santosh, we haven't talked in a while and I was hoping to catch up. I hear you have a girlfriend now. I'd love to hear all about it. Is she pretty? What's her name? I looked at your schedule. You're free from 1 to 3 on Thursday, so I was thinking we could have lunch then. You can pick the restaurant? Love, Arvind. I'm busy that day. Weapon Technician S. Ferretti. Emergency service, blah 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 blah. People checking, testing guns. And then also, Desai. Arvind Sadai, okay. To Maria Jones from Arvind Desai. Hi Maria! As you may have heard, 5 weapon technicians were killed yesterday in an accident at Site 42's weapons testing lab. The cause of the accident was determined to be a malfunction in Mark IV gluon separator, a prototype weapon that I had shelved almost a decade ago. It was sitting in the armory under level 4 clearance until yesterday. 2 of the technicians involved, Rudolph Trellis and Shin Ferretti, somehow received clearance to access the device. They were level 2 technicians. I didn't authorize this, and I haven't heard anything about reviving that project. Would you be kind enough to take a look at the records and tell me who authorized them? Thank you, Arvind Desai, Site Director of Site 42. Hi, Arvind. There's no record of a Rudolph Trellis or Shin Ferretti being authorized to access the device. If you're positive that it was those 2, I'll talk to the IT department, the Director of Task Forces, and get MTF Beta 1 to look into it. How does that sound? Hi, Maria. I'm quite positive. The logs do not lie. I had to pull 3 prototype Scantron anchors out of storage to keep the lab and half of the containment, or the continent, from disintegrating into their component quarks. Please contact me as soon as you hear anything, or have Beta 1 contact me if they find anything. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Arvind Desai. To Arvind Desai from 057, flag top priority memetic encryption unscrambled. BCC Maria Jones, 0510. Dr. Desai, I would like to meet with you to discuss this issue. We will conduct a video conference tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 exactly. To connect to me, log on to Foundation Video Chat and join the server address at that. Enter the password that, exactly as shown. Something Pedalian Eclipse Apocalypto Generic. To Santosh Desai, from Arvind Desai. Hi Santosh, I haven't seen you in several months and I wanted to visit. You're going to be on vacation next week, so I was thinking I could stop by then. I just want to spend some time with my son. I love you. Oh. Mom can visit, Santosh. From Janet Burns. Regarding Alpha 9 whistleblower protection. Dear Arvind, your request for whistleblower protection regarding Mobile Task Force Alpha 9 has been reviewed and denied on the grounds that there's nothing to blow the whistle on. All aspects of Alpha 9 were reviewed by the Ethics Committee already, otherwise it wouldn't exist at all. I know you're thinking about Santosh's death. Please don't dwell on the past. It won't bring him back. I know this email doesn't touch on nearly as many things as it should, so I'd like to sit down with you sometime and talk about this entire issue. Talk like old times. How does lunch on Thursday sound? Best, Janet Burns. To blah 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 blah. From blah 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 blah. Foundation whistleblower seeking sanctuary. To the Global Occult Coalition Undersecretary, I have stolen an anomalous item and I'm using it to ensure that this transmission will not be noticed. I have information that may be of use to the Global Occult Coalition regarding activities of the SCP Foundation and wish to claim whistleblower protection. 1 week ago, 2 technicians were ordered to test a shelved prototype weapon in Foundation Site 42. The device promptly malfunctioned, exploded, killed the testers and 3 other innocent technicians, and may result in the disintegration of a 500,000 square meter testing facility. I recently had a conversation with 057, one of the leaders of the Foundation, who explained that she wished to use the weapon in Project Resurrection, which is an attempt to recreate a defunct Foundation Special Forces group that utilized anomalous SCP objects, see the attached document, for more information. Which is... Mobile Task Force Omega-7 resulted in the nuclear destruction of entire sites, the release of numerous potential world-ending anomalies, and caused reality itself to fundamentally change the action of just 2 or 3 different maniacs. Now the Foundation is trying to recreate this disastrous endeavor through Mobile Task Force Alpha 9. I've already tried to stop this from the inside, but nobody will listen, forcing me to turn to the GOC. I will relay as much information to the GOC as I can regarding this project whenever possible. ARD. Prove you are not a double agent. Attached is a file containing significant portions of the Foundation's documentation of the Global Occult Coalition. It's up to you to decide if this is sufficient proof. At the very least, it will give you more information regarding your interactions with the Foundation. As I acquire more information regarding Alpha 9, I will pass it on to you. ARD. You have been granted probationary undercover operative status under the codename Cuckoo. We will await further information. Thank you for lunch. Dear Janet, thank you for lunch. It was terrific, but not as much as our discussion. You are right. Santosh may be gone, but I can honor him by doing my best to uphold the Foundation's mission. He died to protect the world, and I will not let that sacrifice be in vain. I spent the day thinking about it, and I am rescinding my concerns about Mobile Task Force Alpha 9. At the very least, I can help guide it and keep us from repeating the mistakes of the past. I will be speaking with 057 about how I can help. Again, I greatly appreciate our lunch. You were right about what you said. I just needed an outside perspective. The world truly has changed, but I've been too caught up to see it. I look forward to working on this with you. Mobile Task Force Alpha 9 may truly be our last hope. Thank you, Arvind. Santosh, why will you not let me see my own son? Are you spiting your own father? I love you, Arvind. Yes, Santosh. Okay, I'm a bit confused as to when these letters to Santosh are supposed to be happening. Since nothing is dated, but, like, one of the first things that happened was Santosh dying. But also now we know that Arvind Desai is a double agent. Well, not double agent, he's just, like, decided to work with the Global Occult Coalition because of his brother dying. So I don't know if him wanting to work with A9 after that discussion is actually a thing he wants to do, or if he's just lying about it because he wants vengeance over his brother dying and them not seeming to care. So, ball gags and scrambled eggs. Lie to me like he did and you get the same. Now tell me what's Lambda 2. It's a bit of a longer one. It was midnight when they dragged Dietrich and Bridge out of their beds, pinning them down before they had a chance to react. Filthy rubber ball gags were thrust into their mouths, followed shortly by black bags over their head. Despite struggling, they were quickly zip-tied by their wrists and ankles and then thrown roughly out into the hallway. Dietrich struggled as best he could. He tried to blindly headbutt his assailant but missed. Before he could wind up again for a second try, he felt a pair of cold metal probes pressed against his bare inner thigh. "Try that again and I'll tase you until you shit yourself unconscious," a low voice growled. Dietrich froze. He had no desire to spend his last moments in soiled underwear, and he was fucking sick to death of being tased at this point. The next half hour passed by in a blur. He had the vague impression of being thrown into the back of a van together with Bridge, who was also similarly bound and gagged. The van was driven for a long time, making sharp turns at odd intervals that indicated that the driver was trying to throw off his passenger's sense of direction. Eventually, though, the van came to a halt. The doors were opened and both were dragged out of the vehicle inside a cold room and strapped to a chair. The bag was removed from Dietrich's head. His first impression was a flash of bright light. A bright flash of light, cold, hard, instantaneous, leaving a rectangular afterimage in his abused retinas. Aside from that, only darkness and the vague impression of a sinister figure sitting in a high-backed chair. "Name," Dietrich mumbled helplessly against the ball gag. "Shit." A pair of hands wearing leather gloves removed the ball gag. Dietrich immediately screamed as loud as he could. "Ah! Fuck! Somebody! Help!" The gag was reinserted and then Bridge bag and gag was removed. The silent figure leaned forward into his ear. "Name." "I'm the goddamn Wizard of Oz," Dietrich heard Bridge say, the sound of spitting soon following. Then the sound of another muffled cry as the ball gag was reinserted. Dietrich looked around for any kind of reflective surface and found none. His heart sank. Then his spirits rose. Alexander might be listening, and if Alexander was listening, there was a chance that rescue was already on the way. He let out another low, muffled cry, and the shadowy figure came up behind him, undid the buckle on the ball gag. "Let's try this one last time." The voice sneered, and Dietrich felt the muzzle of a gun pressed against the back of his head. "Tell me your name." All Dietrich could do was stall. Stall for all he's worth till the cavalry rushed in. Dietrich Lurk," he whimpered. "Pa's family was Scottish, that's where the last name comes from. Oh God, just please don't kill me." "That depends on how you answer this next question. What's Lambda 2? Lambda 2? I don't know nothing about any Lambda 2. Dietrich whimpered, then let out a high-pitched scream when he heard the pistol sliding John back behind his head. Wait, please! I can tell you something." "Talk! Now!" I heard a rumor. It's a secret mobile task force. They're all beautiful women, they're all naked, and they don't do nothing but give Clef blowjobs all day." "What?" the voice shouted, and this time the cry was incredulous. He could hear Bridge cackling against the gag. "Where the fuck did you hear that?" He pondered on his next response, and then he felt a hand clamped over his mouth, and then a gunshot went off. Pop. There was silence for only a second. The feeling of early morning piss running down his leg was a sure indicator that he was not dead. He was still alive? Then someone tipped over his chair onto its side, and he felt the ball gag go back into his mouth. And then he heard someone come up behind Bridge and say, "I've just blown your redneck friend's brains out. Lie to me like he did, and you get the same. Now tell me, what's Lambda 2? A slow, shuddering breath, and then in a panicked, pissed-off scream, Dietrich heard Bridge shout, "It's up your mom's ass!" Click. The other lights turned on. Standing over Bridge was a gentleman in a hunter green suit. Dietrich's muffled a question through the ball gag, and then felt it slide out of his mouth. The room turned out to be a standard Foundation office block. Dietrich could see 8 standard-issue cubicles out of the type he'd spent countless hours in over the past few years. They were lying on plastic sheeting. The smell of urine and fear hung in the air. A man wearing a ridiculous hat, smiling mirthlessly, stood before them. "Well, you both passed," Director Altoclef said. What? You were fucking with us?" Hands grabbed Dietrich by the shoulder as he was lifted right side up off the floor. Then he heard that same deep, sinister voice. "Now the second part of the test is going to involve sexually pleasuring bodyguards for intel. You'll be practicing on us. Ready?" Bridge coughed as Dietrich audibly gulped, but it was overshadowed by his assailant's laughter. A woman in a matte black catsuit walked in front of them. "These Vox converters are awesome," she said in a surprisingly deep, manly voice. The same manly voice that was threatening him earlier. She removed the device from around her neck and tossed it back to Clef. "Andrea S. Adams, pleased to make your acquaintance. You've already met Agent Fox." Dietrich let out a frustrated sigh upon hearing that feminine name. He'd been duped. Bridge cackled silently in relief and rage. "Did I hear that right, though? I mean, I nearly broke character when you said that there was an entire task force dedicated to giving Clef blowjobs." Adams glowered suspiciously at Clef sitting at his desk. Makes me wonder who's starting those rumors. Wasn't me? Like I got the time or the semen for something like that. Let's get them cleaned up and have this meeting. Everyone was calm. Made my mouse do a spin out. Everyone was calm and cool on the other side of the table. Both Bridge and Dietrich had trouble mixing the powdered creamer sugar into their respective hot drinks with shaky hands, but their adrenaline was finally starting to plateau after getting changed into clean clothes. Alexander's avatar was floating on the screen of a mounted LCD monitor on the wall, and Merle was standing in the corner just listening to the conversation. Adams and Clef sat together with a stack of papers off to the side while Fox leaned against an adjacent wall. So, I heard you both had a little trouble on your way in, Clef said, grinning from ear to ear with Adams on his left drumming her fingers. I'll say, I can only protect these two so much, you know, Alexander smiled broadly at the group. Bridge inhaled with a growl and said aloud what Dietrich was clearly thinking too. Don't tell us you set that up too. Moi? No, not my style to organize a firing squad on the highway. No, I imagine whoever set that up is playing their own games with you. But that's something to get into later. Clef then slid a folder across the table. Omega 7. Here's the official report of what really happened to them. You'll need to know this in order to know why you've been assigned to Lambda 2. Dietrich tilted his head. Omega 7's a dirty word whispered round the water coolers, sir. I only read what was sent out after the accident. Also, having been reminded that he's part Scottish and I've been on a southern accent this whole time because of the way the words are written. Oops! But, whatever. That and the rumors. Didn't believe either, but I always imagined it was a mix of both. Adams piped up. The truth is far worse. Omega 7 completely shit itself and imploded, lost a lot of collateral, lost a lot of good folks. Clef nodded and leaned forward. Gents, according to all official records, Lambda 2 was an adjunct task force intended to provide temporary support to other MTFs. For the foreseeable future, we will all be adjunct to Mobile Task Force Alpha Niner. Do you understand? Everyone nodded. Great! Because that's all a lie. We're not Alpha Niner's assistants, we're their babysitters. Bridge raised an eyebrow as he finished sipping his green tea. What's that mean? Clef and Adams glanced at each other briefly. To put it bluntly, if you dig around a bit further, you'll find out that we're the eyes, ears, and the failsafe. Dietrich was already skimming through the file. By the time he reached the 4th page, he stopped drinking his coffee altogether. Is this for real? Abel? Afraid so. Bridge already did his homework and didn't need to see the file. His clearance and access to reports were unquestioned. So why do you need us? You need an army to go after a rogue task force. Clef just shook his head and chuckled. Because our job isn't actually to make sure Alpha Niner doesn't go rogue. Dietrich and Bridge both looked at each other confusingly, but Clef held up a hand before either could comment. Let me explain. Lambda 2 doesn't actually exist. It exists on the charts, it has a budget, it has offices, but the entire Mobile Task Force is actually a cover for MTF Tab 666. Tau 666? Bridge asked. No, Tav! Hebrew alphabet, not Greek. Why is that so hard for people? Anyway, our mission is to make sure that Alpha Niner doesn't explode in our faces. I'm not sure I understand, Bridge said. Isn't that the same thing as watching over Alpha Niner? Depends on how you define watching over, Adams interjected. Do you mean in the sense of a prison warden or a bodyguard? Bridge nodded in understanding. He said, echoing Dietrich. Alpha Niner has the possibility of being the single most destructive thing to ever happen to the Foundation, Clef explained, for 2 reasons. First of all, Alpha Niner itself could go bad. Anomalies could go rogue, Abel could happen again. But there's another possibility that's just as dangerous. Sabotage. Who? Dietrich asked. There are elements in the Overseer Council that have a vested interest in maintaining current policies regarding human anomalies, Clef said. He crumbled his paper cup and tossed it in the trash. Given the recent information leaks and the current status of Alpha Niner, we've decided that this is the more serious threat. So, to go back and answer your question, a couple of techies might not help a lot when it comes to stopping a rogue task force, but they'd be a hell of a lot more useful in rooting out a saboteur. And I don't think that the choice of you two wasn't deliberate, Clef continued. Based on Agent Lurk's profile, he has the making of a man who has nearly made a profession of keeping under the radar. Him and his little friend both know the ins and outs of how to do just that. Dietrich's eye grew large as dinner plates. Merle only shrugged, signifying that he too was dumbfounded. Alexandra... Dietrich stopped holding his breath and relaxed. On loan from 19. Really a capable tool in achieving what is needed in the ways of surveillance. I saw how she handled herself after 17's little meltdown a few months ago. It impressed a lot more than just a few directors. Django Bridge, well, that was really Dietrich's choice to bring him along. Not my first pick, but he'll do in a pinch. Bridge rolled his eyes and looked to Fox, who gave a nasally snirk at Clef's statement. And Agent Foxglove continued, "You three met during evac. He's going to be your semi-official escort." What? Fox stopped smirking. Bridge breathed out, "Ha! You didn't get the memo? Yeah. With this last little assassination attempt, they'll need an escort. Neither of them can shoot worth a damn, especially considering one of them is an ex-MTF. We won't mention any names for the sake of Dietrich Lurk." Dietrich opened his mouth for a rebuttal, but then quickly shut it. Fox then walked over from the wall. "So I'm babysitting them." Clef cocked his head slightly and leaned in his chair. "Just for a little while, till things simmer down. Oh, and they'll need to crash at your place tonight. I can't have it on record that they were actually here. Espionage is a fickle bitch." Fox opened his mouth to protest. "Before you even start, I did ensure that you were under VIP watch off-site. Nobody will be kicking down your door before I kick them in the balls." He tossed a gold-plated USB drive to Bridge. "And you? Review that when you get the chance. Take care of it, it's the only copy." "Well, one of you will sleep on the couch, the other will need to make do with the floor." Fox set down a duffel bag. I'll take the floor if you don't, I don't mind." Dietrich moved past him in the doorframe and started looking around nervously. "You missing something, Dietrich?" Bridge came up behind him. "What? No, it's a nice house." Dietrich set his suitcase and laptop in the corner. Fox pressed his finger to his lips and whispered, "Shh, child is sleeping." He pointed above his head. "Shit, sorry. Now I must go pay the babysitter. Bathroom's down the hall." Dietrich made a beeline for the bathroom first. He closed the door gently and stared into the mirror. He hadn't seen Merle since they left the site. Merle, where the hell did you run off to?" He struggled to use the opportunity to shower privately, which was a rare treat for him. Bridge did the same when it was his turn. Dietrich stacked a few blankets on the floor and then draped one over himself. "At least I'm not going to get kidnapped again tonight." Dietrich, sir, would you mind plugging me in? I'm down to 12% on this battery." "Whoop, sorry, Alex, here." Dietrich fumbled for the charger and plugged his mobile device into the nearest outlet. "You want me to ask for the Wi-Fi password or—" "No need, I cracked it when we first got in range. I'm all good for syncing." "Alright, good night then." "Night, sir." Dietrich's phone went into a blank loading screen as Alexandra worked on syncing up with her mainframe counterpart. As he rolled over, he saw Merle standing in the reflection of the metal refrigerator surface. Merle casually waved hello. Dietrich, knowing he wasn't the only one in the house, signed to him while lying down. "Where did you go?" Merle paused and panned his head from side to side before responding. "Just wanted to look around." Dietrich started to sign back, but paused when Bridge walked in. "You'll excuse me if I just go to bed direct, D. Kidnapping kind of wears me down." D, that's a familiar nickname he hadn't heard in a good long while. Heh. "No problem, Bridge. Night." "Night." Dietrich waited for him to roll over, then continued. "Stay around, do not wander." Merle just dismissed him with a gesture and moved over to the reflection of the window as the lookout. His usual routine since he was incapable of sleep. Didn't take Dietrich long to doze off. "Thanks again, Stephanie. Here's some extra money for the unexpected timing." "No worries, Mr. Fox. I had to study for a big final anyhow. Good night." "Night." Fox closed the door on the babysitter and turned into the kitchen for a glass of water. A strange shiver crawled up his back as he felt compelled to look at the kitchen window. Nothing but a view overlooking the quiet suburban street. He then looked up across the way to see both Bridge and Dietrich fast asleep. Fox shook his head, put the glass in the sink, and yawned. One last stop before his bedroom. He wanted to check on Lucille. Passing through the hallway, he noticed the light was on in her room still. "Honey?" Fox opened the door and gently peeked in. "Hi, Daddy." Lucille rubbed her eye and yawned as he placed a plastic kettle next to her books. "Lucille, it's very late for tea time. Elsa, Anna, and Olaf will be around for your breakfast tea in the morning." Admittedly, he'd seen Frozen far too many times to know the characters and songs by heart. He gathered the cups and put them next to the kettle. "No, not Olaf, Daddy. I made a new friend." "Oh, really?" Fox picked her up and tucked her into bed. "He's black and fuzzy and wears a mask and likes to make shadow puppets and he—" "Alright, hush now. Time to sleep. Tell your new friend to sleep too." Fox tucked her in snugly. "He left already." "Well, I'm sure he has things to take care of. Maybe you'll see him in the morning, Lucille rolled over to the side of the bed facing the nightlight. "But I don't know if he likes pancakes." We don't have to have pancakes if you don't want to. We'll just ask him what he wants for breakfast in the morning then, okay?" "Okay, good night, Daddy." Fox smiled and closed her door, leaving just a small crack open. Then he went to bed himself. Dee! Batty squeezed her son as hard as she could. Ma, please! Dietrich squeezed past the door frame and shuffled inside, mother still attached. Howdy, Dee, we cooked your favorite, open-faced roast beef sandwich. That sounds weird. Jeff then lurched out of his chair towards the dining room. The old man pulled a chair out for his wife to sit next to him, then sat down himself. Before Betty could even think of sitting down, she hustled up the stairs, down the hall, and through the first door on the right to retrieve one more person. What followed were the slow and steady footfalls of Dietrich's deaf older brother, Bertrand. Why a simple country couple insisted on naming their offspring old German first names coupled with a proud Scottish family surname, Dietrich would never know. Okay, they are a couple, or country people, so I've been doing the right voice. He also forgot why he was back home in the first place. He looked at the wall to see blurry photographs of their relatives living in the old country. He used to love hearing about fairy tales from Granddaddy Murdoch, but that was a very long time ago when him and Bertrand were waist high. The whole Lurk family sat down and laughed and talked of older times, funnier times, even some strange times. Dietrich signed to Bertrand, who was looking a bit worn for wear. Sick, big brother? Bertrand shook his head and sighed back. No, tired, bad sleep. Bertrand's phone vibrated loudly, but no one seemed to care much, except Bertrand, who struggled to get his phone out of his pocket and stare at the text message. Dietrich cocked his head a bit as he chewed his meal. Who's that, your boss? Bertrand sighed nothing back and shuffled outside with hollow footsteps. Dietrich sat puzzled and looked at the fuzzy faces of his parents. What's wrong with Bert? Dietrich woke himself up and rubbed his face trying to dismiss a weird dream. The smell of eggs and coffee were a good distraction. He rolled out and made several cracking noises as he rose up from the hard floor. Morning, Dietrich. Bridge was chewing on a bagel, looking dressed and ready for the day while sitting in front of his laptop. He was preoccupied with monitoring Alexandra decrypt the flash drive. Dietrich groggily lurched for a chair and sat. Across from him was a 6-year-old girl with messy brown hair wearing Frozen pajamas. He watched her almost zombified as she feverishly scribbled with a black crayon on paper. Dietrich! Huh? What? Fox squinted his eyes at him. I said, how do you like your eggs? Dietrich ran his fingers through his hair and straightened his shirt a bit. Oh, over easy. Run a yolks if you can manage. Ew, Lucille commented. Fox cracked 2 eggs into a skillet. Lucille's that's not nice. Some people just like it that way. Lucille looked up from her drawing. But gooey eggs look like boogies. Lucille, we don't say gross things at the table. Fox planted her fork into a clump of scrambled eggs and put it in her other hand. Come on, less drawing, more eating. This one yours, Fox? This one yours, Fox? Dietrich poured himself a cup of coffee. He could tell Fox used the European brands just by smell alone. No, I just found her outside this morning. Must be a stray. Lucille giggled as Fox straightened a few strands of messy hair. Yeah, Lucille, this is Mr. Lurk. Can you say hi? Lucille smiled and waved. Dietrich nodded back. I like the way you talk. You talk like the tow trucks in my Cars movie. Okay, I definitely got the voice right then. Bridge managed to not choke on his bagel in the background. Dietrich just smiled. Where I come from, everyone talks pretty much like this little lady. He made sure to add an extra layer of twang for her. Fox slid a plate of eggs in front of him. Dietrich reached over for the pepper to sprinkle some in. Fox sat down with his own plate of food and looked over at Lucille's paper. What's this? Or what's this? That's me. That's my new friend and that's our house. Can we put it on the fridge? You sure can. He slid the paper towards him and stuck it to the fridge with a magnet. Fox also made mental note to have a chat with the babysitter about what kind of shows Lucille's watching before bedtime. Dietrich went pale and ejected coffee out of his mouth and nostrils, covering the front of his shirt with plated eggs. We don't spit at the table, Lucille corrected him. Fox got up and approached him. Whoa! You alright? Bridge, however, was frozen in place. He had an extensive knowledge of the SCP main list, with a specialization in the Euclid class. In 2.5 seconds, he connected the dots between Dietrich's behavior, Lucille's drawing, and a particular image file recovered from a cell phone a while back. The pieces clicked together in his head, why Dietrich was always looking at his reflection, why he talked to himself, why he stayed on the radar for so long, and what the hell Merle is. It's fucking 1471! Bridge breathed, his eyes turning to Dietrich. Oh, Daddy, he said a bad TV word! Language! What's wrong with you two? Fox barked as he lifted the oven mitt in preparation for a throw. Then he lowered it again slowly. Bridge? What did you just say? Okay, so, now that leaves Up to No Good, Elder Baconator, Where'd Your Eyes Go, Loosen Up a Bit, and then this stuff. So, this is a good stopping point for this episode. Like I said, in the next one, we'll start with Up to No Good, see how far we get. So, this has been episode 76 of Let's Read the SCP Foundation Wiki. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.